everyone, JennSpeaks here. If you're new to the channel, let me just start by saying welcome. This is a place where we know that being a parent does not have to be difficult, but it does take a little effort. Here, I talk about things that ultimately help us with that goal in mind. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, well, subscribe. That would bring you more. And if you're not quite ready to commit, then liking us is okay. We're okay with that too. So with all of that being said, let me say let's get on with it. How's that sound? Today we're talking about parenting and physical touch. What is physical touch? Physical touch is referred to expressing and receiving affection through touch, physical closeness, and other forms of physical connection. What does it look like? Hugs, kisses, cuddles, snuggles, holding hands, all of that good, close physical stuff. What are the benefits to physical touch in raising children? I'm sure that is the reason you're actually here for this video. Some of them include reduced levels of cortisol and increased endorphins. This actually is one of my favorite benefits. Cortisol, as you probably already know, is the stress hormone, and endorphins make us happy. And so by using physical touch as a love language, it actually can reduce your child's stress and increase their sheer happiness. And who doesn't want a less stressed baby and a happy baby? I'm telling you, they're a lot easier to deal with when they're not stressed and they're happy, just like adults. So it's also been found that babies who were deprived of physical touch in their infancy failed to thrive. And this is really sad, but they ended up not only failing to thrive, but losing significant weight and eventually dying because of this. Another benefit would be that it improves the function of the immune system, reducing diseases that relate to the heart and the blood. So like heart disease, blood pressure, stuff like that. And immune system in children, you want that strong, especially if they are in some kind of daycare or school or public gathering place with other kids. Kids have so many diseases that a good, strong immune system is definitely a plus when it comes to your little ones. So next we have the stimulation of the release of oxytocin, which enhances security and trust. Oxytocin is the love hormone, so enhancing the security and trust. That's good because when a child feels secure, they're not looking for dangers, and if they trust you, then you're going to have a lot easier time getting them to do the things that they need to do. That also, I'm sure, benefits them as adults. Having a healthy sense of security and trust is beneficial as adults as well. So the last benefit that we're going to go over is touch builds emotional connection and social communication. Both of those are very important for the child to learn because emotional connection leads to empathy, strong empathy as an adult, and social communication leads to their ability to function in society as an adult. So, how do I implement physical touch in my parenting? You've seen the benefits of it, and now you've convinced me. How do I use it in my parenting? So, one example of a way to use physical touch in your parenting would be by kissing boo-boos. Your little ones get boo-boos and bumps and bruises all the time. Some are more real, some are more imaginary. But by just grabbing that child and giving them a big kiss on that boo-boo, giving them some hugs and some kisses on their face too, that is a form of using the physical touch love language to heal that boo-boo. And just an added bonus, in kissing that boo-boo, you're actually reducing the stress of the child and increasing their happiness so that they forget about the boo-boo, whether it was real or imagined. So the next example would be sitting so close that they are practically sitting on you or sitting in your lap. So my son does this particular one, which is why I thought of it. He will sit on the couch next to you and he'll start on the other side of the couch and he will inch closer and closer and closer and closer and closer until he is literally sitting practically on top of me. So much so that I can't even use my arm where he's sitting because he's got it pinned. And this is just him showing love through physical touch, the closeness. It makes him feel secure to be that close. Another example would be touching your child's arm or back or head as you walk by. It's not necessarily sitting next to them doing something, but it is still expressing that you love them as you're walking by. Let's say putting laundry away or doing something that causes you to have to move from room to room. And let's say the kids are at the table doing an activity or something and you walk by, just reach out and touch their arm or pat them on the head or do something just to let them know that you're thinking of them. And that is an example of physical touch being used with your children. So the next example would be playing with them. And I don't think I've met a dad who hasn't done this. My dad did it with us when we were little, and my husband does it with our kids as well. And it's when you get in the floor and wrestle or play or some form of physical roughhousing. And different examples of that would be my husband gets on the floor and my daughter will crawl on his back and pretend that he's a horse and try to ride him all over the house. Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much. Other times the kids will literally belly flop on him. That one is a little dangerous at times. Just so you know, my kids are 2 and 4, so this isn't teenagers jumping on their dad or anything. So another form of play would be tickle fights. My kids will sit on the couch next to us and we will tickle, and they get in on it with each other as well, where they're tickling each other and it's going back and forth and all over the place. That is a wonderful, happy making game that your kids will absolutely enjoy. Another one is where we will chase them around the house, and when we catch them, kiss all over their face. And they love running from us, and they also love when we catch them, as I'm sure your kids will too. So those are all examples of roughhousing or playing that you can do with your children that are forms of physical touch love as well. The last example I'm going to go over is tucking them in at night. And this is a good one because my dad used to do this with us. He would, when we go to bed, he would take the blanket and he would tuck it under us until we were basically this little cocoon or burrito of not being able to move. And we absolutely loved it. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful expression of love between a father and his children. So just a recap. Physical touch is any action that involves physical contact between you and your child in a loving way. And the benefits can include reduced stress levels, more feelings of love and happiness, and an increased immune system. Examples of this include kissing boo-boos and sitting together and tickling. So that's about it. Hopefully you heard something that you loved in this video. If you did, likes are appreciated, and if you really liked it, then a subscribe would bring you more. If you want to learn more, if you want to hear more from me, check out my other channel, JennSpeaks About Life. I'll link it in the description below. So until next time, let me just say, every moment we spend with our children today helps build the foundations of their tomorrow.